Yes, nice and lovely people, you're welcome to another episode of Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. Last time on Solid Chat, it was fun, as my guest was really very hot, you know. All right, like I always do, today I have what I call the big fish. Yes, I was able to catch another big fish on Solid Chat today. You know, this man is very busy. America today, Abuja tomorrow, you know, spreading the gospel. All right, he has blessed many souls and has released many albums, many songs that has in millions of copies, that has blessed people like me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'll be introducing my guest on Solid Chat today, but before I do that, let me go on a quick break and I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
He's a wonderful wonder. My name is Tony Labo, the singing preacher, and my father's name is Yod Hey Wawe. Keep on watching Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. Don't turn that dial, because you might draw strength to conquer your place in destiny. Shalom.
Yes, you're welcome back to Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. Like I said, I was able to catch this big fish. Gentlemen and ladies, if you're not too busy, let's make welcome the one and only BUCHI boy. You're welcome to Solid Chat, sir.
And so it turns out your big catch was BUCHI boy and not a fish.
Wow.
Not a big fish.
Well, you heard him say it's not a big fish. I don't know. But I don't know why my guests keep denying. They keep rejecting this title of a big fish.
Who wants to be a fish?
All right, sir. Let's go straight to it. Who is BUCHI?
BUCHI is a man greatly helped of God. BUCHI is a man who grew up through infancy and adolescence, walking a winding and turning road, living dangerously until Jesus found me. And looking back, I dare say, up from that point, it's been an upward and forward journey ever since then. A man greatly helped of God, a man whose past does not in any way resemble his present. These days when people see me and call me man of God, and they hold my Bible and they hold my phones, I look at them and laugh, and I say to myself, if only they knew where I was coming from. If only they knew who I was only yesterday, they would know that these are only titles.
Wow.
Yes, we are who we are by the grace of God. Who is BUCHI? A light out of darkness.
A light out of darkness. I love that.
That's the best way to describe me, yes. And I think about it, I ponder on it over and over. God is able to cause a light to shine out of darkness. And that's my testimony.
Wow. Let me ask you, in that life, what was your childhood like? Were you born with a golden spoon? What was it like growing up as a child?
If there was anything like a wooden spoon.
A wooden spoon.
That's where you would place me.
Wow.
Both parents were civil servants. My mother, a primary school teacher. My father, a civil servant. And I was number 4 in the family of 5 children. How were they able to train 5 children on civil service salary and send them through school to university? And how were they able to do it? Every time I think about it, I give kudos to my parents, and they have remained my role models till date. So that's growing up. I was born in Kaduna to parents of Abia State origin in Nigeria.
You're from Abia State?
Yeah, and so because I was born in Kaduna, I'm from Kaduna. Because my parents
do you speak Hausa?
Kada. We'll get to that shortly, yes?
I love that kada.
Because my parents are from Abia State. I'm from Abia State.
Okay.
Because I have lived in Lagos well over half of my entire life, I'm also from Lagos. So, and then because I'm a new man, I'm a native of the church.
Simply put, a detribalized Nigeria.
That's who I am.
Oh, great.
Yes, a native of the Church of Jesus Christ. That's my constituency.
A native of the Church of Jesus Christ. And I can tell you, that's where I belong to.
Yeah.
What's your greatest motivation in life?
What's my greatest motivation in life? You know, sometimes when we have these conversations, one part of it is to answer your questions correctly and make an impression before your audience. The other part of it is to tell the truth exactly as it is. I have had to ask myself that question also. Before Christ, I had a certain motivation to be Robin Hood. You know, the one who would take from the rich and give to the poor. The one who would fight other people's battles. And the one who, and I did everything I could to achieve that. From joining the cult, to joining gangs,
You once did that?
playing rebellious music and all of those. And from there, I did a whole lot of things to be the Robin Hood of my time. Now, what is my motivation? I find that it still leans towards the same goal, but now by a different means. If I come to your house, and I don't know why this happens, if I come to your house, you're a big man, you're a rich man, I don't know why I would strike a friendship with your gate man or your gardener, yes, or your security personnel. They would be my friends. They would be the ones I can exchange my numbers with and talk with from time to time. It is something about reaching out to those I think have not had the privilege of living a good life and letting them know that there is really no gap between you down there and the man up there. A same thing, everyone.
No gap between you down there and the man up there. I love that.
Same thing. And as I fellowship with these people, as I make friends with these people, I see them rise. That's my joy. That's my motivation.
Wow.
To bring a rising to them that are lowly, whether spiritually or financially, academically.
Wow. Let me quickly ask, do you have any role? And if yes, to what extent did that person influence your personality?
I have role models. I do have role models. I told you my parents were my role models. I look at my father, who was not a rich man, but who controlled the respect of rich people, who commanded the respect of rich people, had a lot of rich and influential people coming around him. He was not a rich man. In any sense, by any measurement of richness, he was not a rich man. Well, financially, yes. But I saw people, growing up, I saw a lot of rich people coming to sit down with him, seek his counsel, get his blessings, seek direction, defer to him, respect him, make sacrifices, change their minds because of his counsel. I saw a lot of that happen. And a lot of times I wondered what he had over them. They knew him to be a just man. They knew him to be a godly man. And the God in them commanded them, led them to submit to him. Same thing with my mom. Yes? And so they were my supreme role models.
Are they alive?
No, they've gone.
They've gone.
They are alive on the other side.
I hope I'm not getting emotional right here.
No, man. I just deeply respect them. Yes.
Okay.
But see, even before they left, I met, in my own words, a young man I found preaching the gospel in a most uncommon way. I wasn't a Christian. Just before I went to meet him, even though I was already a university lecturer, I was hooked on weed. I fell in love with weed.
Wow.
And
Weed. That's Igbo?
yeah.
Wow.
I fell in love with weed. And I had a romance with weed that was quite peculiar. It didn't stop me from teaching. It didn't stop me from being a DJ. It didn't stop me from being all of the things that people perceived me to be. Doing a PhD program, lecturing in the event. Weed was my companion all that time. So even though in the eyes of the public, I seemed to be living a respectable life, responsible life, there were questions inside, and there was emptiness inside until I met that young man. And when I heard him talk, I knew, and I saw his congregation. I ended up in that place by chance. I knew that these people had something that I was looking for. A certain peace and joy that they had, which I truly needed. And so I went back to him the other day, after church. I went back to the church, parked my bus outside, went into the office, the church office, and I told the young lady I saw seated in the church office, I said, I was here yesterday, and I remember there was a young man who preached. I'd like to see him. And then the young lady said, which young man? I said, he looks like Lionel Richie, fair like that, and I heard him talking. And she took offense. He said, is that my pastor you're calling Lionel Richie? He said, that's Pastor Chris Oyakilome. I said, oh, okay, he must be the one I'm looking for.
Wow.
This was on the 30th of December in 1992, and because he had an all-night service to preach the following day, the lady didn't think he would have time for me. But as I made to walk out of the place, he sent for me. I went back, spent the next 2.5 hours talking with him, 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And while I was talking to him, asking him questions, he answered me all from the Bible. And I knew that day, I was convinced that day that the Bible has all of the answers to man's questions. And it was there and in his office that I knelt down and gave my life to Christ. And have lived by his teachings and guidance. So I call him my role model also. I'm talking about Pastor Chris Oyakilome.
You said this happened what year now?
1992.
That's a whole lot.
Yeah, almost 3 decades now. Yes?
Almost 3 decades.
Almost 3 decades. And it's been a journey from glory to glory.
Wow.
So talking about role models, yes, I do have role models. People that I look up to. Some of them I don't see them. I read them. Yes. Some of them I read them. Nehemiah in the Bible is another role model of mine.
Wow.
David in the Bible is another role model of mine. People I follow after closely. And so when people come to me and say, I'd like you to be my role model, I don't know what that means really. Because a person can be your role model without you even meeting with the person face to face. A person can be your mentor without you meeting and sitting down with the person. Follow his words, follow his teachings. You'll get there. Because in the words of a man, is the man.
Wow. Wow, interesting. Buchi has role models, starting from his parents to Reverend Chris Oyakilome. This is getting interesting. It's hot right here on Solid Chat. Don't go nowhere. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ngozi Oji. Keep watching Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO.
Yes, you're welcome back to Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. I still have the one and only Buchi on my hot seat. Okay, and you will agree with me, it has been fun right here. Back to you, sir.
The seat is not hot anymore.
Okay, the seat is no longer hot. After all, we are cooling down with Tamarina. Oh, yeah. All right, I want to ask. At what point did you decide to go into music?
Did I ever decide to go into music?
Wow.
My earliest exposure to music was Sunday school and war music. See, I was born in Kaduna before the war, but when the war broke out, I moved with my parents, back to the village. And my village was the camp for the Biafran army. And so I would come out every morning and watch as they paraded and moved in battalions into the camp and out of the camp. As they moved, as they marched to the war front, they sang songs that touched me, songs that gripped me. I heard them sing songs of surrender, total surrender. Like I'm going. Wow. I know I may not return, but I'm going for a good cause. They sang songs like that. I heard them sing songs like, the world has forgotten me. I'm just a bloody soldier, but I will do my best for my nation. I heard them sing songs, songs of commitment, songs that elicited a lot of emotion from me. That made a very strong impression on me. And I found that long after, when I was not in the company of soldiers, I sang those songs back to myself.
Wow.
And then of course there were songs that I learned in Sunday school. These were my earliest recollections of involvement in music.
Okay.
But I did not at any point think I was going to become a musician. I loved reggae music helplessly.
But why reggae?
I don't know, the sound got me. The sound got my attention. So maybe there's something implanted in me, a part of the magnet. One part of the magnet is somewhere inside me. And so when reggae, the other magnet comes close, yes,
it glues.
So it was love at first sight, or love at first hearing. And I began with the likes of Eric Donaldson, and then Joseph Hills of Culture, and Burning Spear, and then Bob Marley, and the rest of them. But I grew up listening to reggae music, and I loved reggae music absolutely, because it was for me a sound with a purpose. It was not just sound for merriment. Merriment is good, entertainment is good, but reggae was more than merriment. Reggae was more than entertainment. Reggae was a sound with a cause, a sound on a mission. And so I got involved in reggae music. And even when I got into the cult system, the confraternities in school, I found that it was the same message of emancipation, of freedom fighting. It was the same message. They were in agreement. And so I was into my reggae, I was into the cult, I was into fighting injustice and all of those, until I became a Christian. Now that's not the kind of music you hear in church, and but I knew that for me the supreme thing was my love for Jesus Christ, who had found me. And so I sat in the choir of that church for many years, not really liking the music in terms of style, but focusing on the message of the music. Until it dawned on me, and I was called upon, and by the teachings of the man of God, I realized, by the instructions of the Holy Spirit also, I realized that Satan does not own any kind of music. He created none. God made all the beautiful sounds that we know. And so every style of music can be used to praise and worship God.
Every kind of music, every style of music can be used to praise the Almighty.
Yes. And so since reggae music was a style of music that I had internalized over the years, when it was time for me to sing, it was reggae that came forth. Yes? And I must say that I'm first a writer before a singer.
Okay.
Yes, and some of the songs, indeed all of the songs that I released in my first album were poems I had written.
Wow. Before going into singing.
Before going into singing. Yeah. Before going into singing professionally.
Professionally.
Don't forget I was singing in the nightclub.
Okay. Oh, really? And you really sound like there is nothing else as sweet as reggae music.
Oh, only good thing. The only thing as sweet as a reggae song.
Okay.
Is another reggae song.
Wow. The only good thing as sweet as a reggae song
is another
reggae song. You had that coming from BUCHI Boy himself.
Yeah,
all right, interesting. Now, talking about reggae music, what inspired the colors you wear? I see the gold, the green, how come about it?
Why did you bring reggae music to church?
Wow.
Why are you wearing
red, gold, and green?
All kind of question the people ask.
Yes, la fa de man say. Red, gold, and green. Wow.
My reggae music is for him. I will lift my voice and sing my praise to the one who died on the cross for me.
Wow.
Red is for the blood of Jesus.
You hear that?
He shed on Calvary.
Okay.
He died to set me free. I never see another one like him.
Okay.
Gold is for the riches untold my Father gave to me.
Oh yeah.
You know the cattle upon 1,000 mountains, they belong to my Father and me. Who no sing again? Red, gold, and green.
Wow.
My reggae music is for him. I will lift my voice and sing my praise to the one who died on the cross for me. You waiting for the last one? Green for the vegetation.
You hear that?
The whole universe is mine. He gave I and I the authority to rule and reign over all. Who no sing again?
Red, gold, and green. Wow. I think with this song, my question has been answered. So for those of you asking, why is he wearing red, gold, and green? Is it not for Rastafarians and all that? The answer is right here. You heard it from BUCHI Boy himself as regards to the colors he put on. Interesting. I wanted to ask, you appear different all the time. Who is your designer? Who makes your clothes? Yes, I have to ask this question.
Papa ZICO.
Yes, but they are so.
I am my own tailor.
Did you hear that?
I became a tailor in 1988.
You seem to do almost everything. You were once a DJ, yeah. you sing, you were once a lecturer.
You know, I have purpose to live my life to the full. Everything I imagine to do, I do. And that's the power that the Spirit of God has given to me to fulfill my life. And it's the same thing for you out there. If it has entered your imagination to do, you are able to do it by the power of the Holy Spirit. And so you can be everything that you want to be. I'm a tailor. I'm a teacher. I didn't tell you about that. My teaching in the university.
Wow.
And even teaching before the university. Yeah, some secondary school and JAM preparatory classes.
Wow.
Remind me to tell you some other time. That's how I met my wife. So I'm a teacher, I'm a tailor, I'm a cook. You know, I make the best sandwiches in this town.
Did you hear that?
Well, let's leave that for now again.
Okay.
And talk music, yeah?
Okay.
I'm a writer, like I told you. And then I'm a musician, yes.
Wow.
I make my clothes myself.
He makes his clothes himself. No wonder you appear, you do it to your taste. You do it the way, from what I see, you do it the way you want it to look. It's in line with that same question. Your cap. Why do you put on this particular cap almost every time?
I think that fashion is about comfort first.
You notice your cap has become an identity.
Well, it has. I didn't intend for it to be.
Okay.
Fashion is comfort first, then trend. For me, that's what fashion is about. Be comfortable in what you're wearing, and then line up with the trend as much as you want to, or move away from the trend if you choose to and if you can defend it. That's what fashion is about.
Okay.
And I'll come into the car. If I go somewhere with you, you're a minister, you're dressed up in a suit and tie, and if a prostitute feeling condemned, feeling dirty, says, I want a new life, I'm tired of living this way, who would she confide in? Most likely me.
Yes.
Because I'm like another man on the street, another cap-wearing fellow on the street. If somebody steals a phone and is hiding it, or maybe they're pursuing him, and he wants to confide in someone, who would he talk to? Me. Because I look like the everyday man on the street. And so my cap brings me close to the people that God has sent me to. It gives me the look of the ordinary man. And so that I do not elevate myself in the name of ministry to the point where I become unreachable. I want to be within the reach of the people that God has called me to help. And so I like to dress like them in a way that they can reach me and relate.
Yeah, relate.
And relate with me.
Do you attend events without this cap?
Do I attend my events?
Do you go on events without it?
Every time.
Do people still recognize you?
Did you say without the cap?
Yes, I think it's difficult.
You want to leak my secret right now?
because I'm beginning to feel like sometimes you can disguise where you don't want to be identified, because this cap, like I said, is a very strong identity of yours.
There are habits that die hard, and there's a lifestyle that I love to live. I love to shop for cooking things, soup condiments. It's something that gives me a certain kind of joy. I can't explain it. So I like to go to the market and buy meat and price meat.
You mean you can still do that?
Buy crayfish and buy tomatoes. I still do it. Ask my wife.
Okay.
But the thing is, I take the cap off.
So you watch out. Be very careful now. Oyinbo markets, all the markets in Kodo, watch out. When you see him, you know you've got him.
Makoko, Yama, Oba, yeah. I go there, buy food stuff.
I think the secret is out now.
Things and things. And then when I leave the place, I wear my cap again.
Wow.
And move on.
Wow. So you can actually go out, do the normal things you do, not wearing cap.
Yes.
Interesting. And another question I have for you is how do you manage the crowd you pull? The crowd, some are in form of fans, extended family and extended families, and all that. How do you do it? A lot of greetings here and there, people calling your name. How do you manage it?
I've thought about it many times. And people who don't understand think it's about making fans or having a lot of admirers and all. We were not called to make fans. We were called to make disciples. And
wow, I love that. We are not called to make fans. We are called to make disciples.
that's right. And so the way I look at these people, they're not fans to me. They are disciples. I do not lead them by myself. I point them to the ultimate leader, who is Jesus Christ, who I believe very strongly that if he lived in Lagos today, this is the way I think he would live. He would sit down with Yahoo boys. He would sit down with beer drinkers. He would sit down at parties. He would go to parties. I think that you could find him in a nightclub. I mean, he was with a tax collector. He was with the woman who had married several husbands.
Yes.
Call her a prostitute. By the well, early in the morning, before people came to fetch water, he was there alone with him. And what more? Before the woman came out, he sent his disciples away. So what do you think people would have thought? Oh, he sent them away knowing that he was expecting a babe by the poolside. But that's the way Jesus lived. Only that he had a purpose for mixing with the people that he mixed with. Every time he met with them, their lives changed. That woman became an evangelist. She went about telling everybody she had met the Messiah.
The Messiah, yes.
Because of wisdom that came from his mouth. He spoke wisdom. He spoke life everywhere he went. And he is still alive in you and in myself, which is the beautiful thing about him. Today there are so many Jesuses walking the streets of Lagos, Nigeria, London, the UK, all over, Pakistan. There are so many Jesuses everywhere, and that's what we are called to do.
Yeah.
Religion destroys.
Religion destroys.
Religion prevents people from coming into the kingdom. You look at those religious leaders, Jesus talked about them. They will stand at the door. Enter now, then no go enter. Come out, make others enter, then no go come out. That's what Jesus said. They stand and block people from coming in with their so-called high standards, which were not real and not realistic. But Jesus was a people's man. Even though in mixing with people, he held on to his standards. And so when he got into the church that day, the synagogue, and saw them buying and selling, the Bible didn't say he told them to please, you can't do this in my father's house. Please, please, no, this is wrong. That's not what he said. He kicked their tables. He kicked their tables.
Yes, he did.
And chased them. He got a whip and chased them out of the house of God. People who are in church to make merchandise of the brethren and of the church. That's the way Jesus treated them. Yes? And if he was here today, he would make friends with the people that we call outcasts.
Yes.
And show them that truly love is real.
Love is real. Okay, talking about the crowd that follow you, has there been any time you got embarrassed by fans or people who want to get to you?
Well, incidentally, I don't get embarrassed by that. Like in one of those escapades, going to buy meat and fish in the market, someone decoded me and said, "That's Buchi." I said, "That's Buchi." And then he said, "Are you Buchi?" I said, "Buchi." I said, "Yeah, the one that sings." I said, "People say I look like him." He said, "It's a lie. You are the one." And before long, they gathered around me, and it was fun.
Wow.
Yes, and I don't think nothing of it.
Let me take you back a little bit. Did you live a rough life?
That is
before getting born again?
an understatement.
Wow.
That's an understatement. I lived dangerously. Guns and ammunition became my companion. I befriended the weed. And on one of those days, I went to 5th Avenue in Festac to smoke weed after my master's degree exams. And the man who was selling the weed, for some curious reason, I don't understand, I asked for another one. I had taken one, and then I asked for another one. I wasn't there yet, so I needed to do a little more. So I asked for another one, and he went like he had run out of some and entered the room, came out with another stick. I think it's for this new one he brought, he had lined it with heroin. A lot of heroin, loaded it, and then gave it to me. And I wondered why he would spend all that money to destroy a young man. I never did heroin. I didn't want it. I didn't do cocaine. I didn't want it. When he came out, he gave it to me. I lit it. I smoked it. As I smoked, I knew there was something different, kind of.
From the first one?
From the first one. But well, you know, sometimes brown would taste different from green, and depending on where they are kept, and how they are processed, they could taste slightly different. But I kept smoking. But I just realized that at a point, I lost my mind.
Wow.
I lost my mind. And I don't know how I left that place. I just know that some friends of mine picked me up and kept me somewhere for rehabilitation. And guess what?
Tell me.
After I got born again and became a music minister, many years later, I was invited to a church to sing. And I sat there behind the pastor. close to the music ministers, the choir, and waiting for my turn. Then I saw someone sitting behind the pastor at the other end also. He looked familiar. I thought I'd seen him before. So I called the usher. I said, who is that man? He said, which man? I said, the bearded man. He said, that's the assistant pastor of the church. I said, wow. That was the man that sold that thing to me.
Wow.
At 5th Avenue.
Wow.
In Festac. That was the man that sold that stuff to me.
Wow.
At first, anger rose up in me. But then I realized that the same God who saved me
has saved him.
Had saved him also. The same God who saved him had saved me also. And so here we were in the house of God, worshiping together as children of God. I almost broke out in tears.
Wow.
I've also been on the streets of London where I saw someone who I recognized also. In the confraternity, he had been sent to eliminate me. And so he tried and tried and tried to gun me down. He couldn't. I escaped. Long story short, we dispersed. I got saved. Many years later, I didn't realize he had relocated to the UK. So I was in this mall. Where was it? Somewhere close to South London. And in Croydon, London. I walked through a mall by the train station and I saw someone. I thought I saw him. I thought I knew him. He saw me also and quickly went out of my radar. I walked back. I followed him. So he saw me and he was running away. So I cornered him. And lo and behold, he was a young assassin who was sent to take me out.
Wow.
In the university. But guess what? He was sharing tracts. He was distributing Bible tracts at the train station, at the mall in London when I saw him.
Amazing.
I screamed his name. He looked at me and I told him, I'm born again also.
Wow.
And great was the reunion. You know, it was a beautiful reunion. And I told him I was not there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. You'll agree with me, it's very, 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 very interesting right here on Solid Chat. I still have my guests here, and I'm going on a short break. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, this is your boy Samson from Boston, USA. Keep watching Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO.
Welcome back to Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. I still have my guest, BUCHI boy, on my seat. And like he said, the seat is no longer hot. Yeah. We are having fun right here. I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you. All right, sir, back to you now. What's your advice for the youths and the upcoming musicians?
Well, first to the youth generally, I would say get some education. Whatever it is you've chosen to do, get some education. Education gives you an advantage over others who don't have it. Don't make the talent God has given to you an alternative to education. The beautiful thing is today, education is no longer just in the classroom. Education is right in your phone. Every phone that has an internet is a library, and you can research on any subject. Educate yourself in the area of your calling. Educate yourself in the area that you have chosen to work. Yes? Get some education.
Get some education, and that is coming from BUCHI himself. Okay, so tell us.
And for those upcoming
musicians, okay?
If it is gospel on stage, let it be gospel off stage. The gospel music is not just for the stage. It is for stage and off stage. It is actually what happens off stage that gives strength
for the stage on stage. Wow, amazing. That's very interesting coming from Buchi boy. All right. So briefly tell us about your family.
My immediate family.
Yes, immediate family.
I'm married to my friend Jane.
Okay.
And together we have 4 lovely children.
Wow.
Marizu, Olive, Ola, Akachi.
There was this rumor. Sorry, let me cut it. There was this rumor sometime that one of them is even a lawyer that said anybody misbehaves, you sue the hell out of the person.
There are rumors everywhere. Yeah. Like they say, a lot of times, no smoke without fire.
Without fire, okay.
So, like they say these days, sue the bagger.
Okay, sue the bagger. So you can actually sue the bagger now.
Not right now, I can sue the bagger.
You hear that?
My daughter is a lawyer. Yeah.
Wow.
And my son is a musician with a great prospect. If you look him up, his name is Marizu.
Okay.
Marizu doesn't sing reggae music, even though he's coming around. I noticed lately that I'm
in the neighborhood of reggae music. Interesting.
And I'm watching it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he's done well so far.
Okay.
And then Ola, my beautiful princess, and Akachi. I have a beautiful. God has blessed me with a beautiful family.
Wow.
For a man who travels all the time, and you would think he has no time to attend to the children, God, by His Spirit, and through the instrumentality of my wife, has raised for me a beautiful home.
Interesting. Talking about a man that travels regularly, how do you relax?
Everything I do is relaxation.
Wow.
Because I do the things I love to do. It is relaxation for me when I'm on stage singing reggae music. It is relaxation for me when I'm making a style of cloth that people may not be wearing, but I have imagined that it would work. And so as I lay out the piece of cloth and we cut it, and I say, do this way, do it this way, do it this way, and it comes out, and I say, wow, I thought as much. That's relaxing enough. Writing, cooking, shopping, these things are they are relaxing enough. So for me, relaxation is not sleeping.
Okay.
It's possible to sleep and not rest.
Yes, I agree with you, sir.
Yes?
Yeah.
There are restless...
It's possible to sleep without resting.
Without resting. There are restless sleeps. Go ask Winch now. There are restless sleeps.
Okay, let me take it away from music and all that. Now we are all in Nigeria. Briefly, what's your take on the agitations and the problems going on? And what will be your advice to the government? You know, the Sunday Igboho is on one corner, Nnamdi Kanu is on the other side. What's your take on the agitation?
And the bandits
all over.
All over, yeah? Where there is equity and justice, there is love and unity. Unity, that's what we call it in reggae music.
Yeah, unity, yeah.
Unity. And it does not exist without injustice. The trouble at the root of all these agitations is injustice and inequity. Yes? When man decides to be God over man, when man decides to be even Satan over man, you find these agitations rising up. So are they justified to agitate? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
In my opinion. But in the method of agitation, no, not quite. If you ask me, there are excesses. But in every war, there are excesses.
Yes.
Because it's a war, it's not a game. So if you want to check the trouble, check it from the root. Provide a level playing field for everybody. Let people freely live their lives and aspire to become absolutely anything that they want to be. Practice their faith without fear of molestation, if you ask me.
I agree with you. Okay, you know, each time we begin to talk about the situation of the nation, tension begin to go high. I want to bring it down small now. Let me lower it down.
I didn't answer some more because the tension would have
gone up. So what is your favorite food? Let's talk about your food now.
Well, going by my size, you know I'm a man of food, yeah? I'm a man of food.
It's obvious.
I love good food.
Okay.
And it moves from time to time. It shifts from time to time. My answer to this same question at a point was a foriro. You know the way the Yoruba make vegetable, and it stays green, and you find the iru here and there.
Yeah.
And then the stew, mainly peppery, would be a little bit on one side. So it gives you a color of...
I'm salivating now.
Like,
the description is like...
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be bringing some of this on Solid Chat. We'll be eating a foreigner. We'll be eating a foreigner on Solid
So
Chat.
when you look at that thing, it looks like skirt and blouse.
Wow.
Like a red blouse and a green skirt. That's the way a forero appears when it's at dawn. And then you see, Yoruba people love meat and they love fish. When they eat those things, they eat them big. So you see lumps here and there. You see the chicken with its that way. At a point, that was my favorite.
Okay.
But then I moved again when I'm a man who travels a lot. I found a certain soup among the Ijaw people called oviokpo.
Oviokpo.
Oviokpo is a food that when you eat, you are eating food and you're eating medicine at the same time.
Wow.
If you had any slight fever or something, or you're feeling weak at the joints, I recommend oviokpo for you.
Wow.
And that's the soup, when you eat it, your body wakes up like that. Yeah? I had to investigate one day and I did ask them, is there a little bit of weed inside this thing? And they told me there was none.
Wow.
But culinary expertise, Africa is rich in all of these things.
Yeah, Africa is rich in all
God
of these
gave
things.
these things to us as food and medicine. We know exactly what to do with them. Africa is civilized, but we have not taken our civilization in the direction of China or in the direction of the United States. But we have a civilization here that the world should come and learn. Sit down at our feet and learn these things, and we will teach them gladly. African civilization.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
That's what I advocate.
Okay.
And then presently, what's my favorite meal? I think I call choyat fish.
Culture yard fish.
Right now,
Culture yard fish.
Culture yard fish.
Yes, I think I've tasted it. It's amazing.
It's simply
Culture yard fish is
amazing.
absolutely amazing.
I don't want to use the word magical. Let's just say it's Christical.
I remember myself and
Alright.
Tonela Vo in Culture Yard at some point. We were served with it's something else.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring Buchi for your event, if you are in Riverside, Ijaw, hey, Oviokpo. Get your Oviokpo ready. But if you are in Lagos, Florida will not be bad then. But if you want to make it up to date, come to Culture Yard and get some Culture Yard fish. All right, that's talking about your favorite food. From your favorite food, what's your favorite scripture?
Oh, he that is forgiven much loves much.
Wow.
He that is forgiven much loves much. I'm a favorite scripture that.
Wow. He that is forgiven much loves much. Sir, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years if Christ tarries?
If Christ tarries.
Yes.
If he doesn't tarry, I'll be with him up there. But do remember, heaven is for 7 years and we will come back. Second coming of Christ is after 7 years of heaven to rule in what the Bible calls the millennial rule over the earth.
That's what the Bible said.
But if he tarries, I'll still be singing, I'll still be writing, I'll still be teaching, and I'll still be reaching out to the poor and lowly to help them achieve their dreams, God-given dreams, through publishing the gospel through art forms. Publishing the gospel in art forms.
Wow. Okay, we have this culture on Solid Chat, and we have come to that point where you give us a proverb in your native language and explain it. And your time starts from now.
Hey.
native proverb. Then explain for those of them who don't know what you're talking about. But Anna said on Yako Aturi Lulu. Cover the Geji Lonnie for him. And not them.
I want them.
Here you will give us a proverb in your native language and you will explain it.
I say Aturi Lung Kerenkankata. Agadiwani. Okay.
Okay.
You didn't give me a good enough time.
Okay.
Say the one I really
okay. Oh yeah, say it.
There are so many of them.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, give us another one.
It's like selecting what to wear for the day. When the wardrobe is full. You have to pick the best one, yeah?
Yeah.
So let me get the proverb.
But the one you threw just now is strong.
It is strong.
It's strong. Gentlemen, like this, we are waiting for him. We are here. Want to get that proverb?
Adema. Ale kuna ori ezugo ke. Nde dharibi. Agakwato afọ.
This is thunderous, man.
Ale kuna ori ezugo ke. Onye dharibi agakwato afọ.
Wow.
Literally, it says we're complaining. We're even saying that diseases are not spread out to everyone. Not everyone is sick. The diseases have not spread out to everyone. The man with the hernia is compounding. You don't situation. I don't like the
You had that. This is the funniest proverb I've ever had.
The man who already has a hernia now develops a
swollen stomach.
When there are people who have not even gotten any.
That's what they call double wahala.
Yeah,
double wahala.
But what is the thrust? What is the meaning of this program? Some people, some proverbs can only be explained with other proverbs.
With other proverbs.
Ascension, joy, and wish. Some people.
No, I think we've taken enough of that. Wow. Let's take a short break. I will be right back.
I believe in God, I cannot change. Oh, hey. His word of promise is forever sure. Yeah, yeah. I believe in God, I cannot change. Oh, yeah. He's still the same. Oh, praise His holy name. My name is Righteous Man. Keep watching Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO. Don't touch the die. It's a sin. Boom.
You're welcome back. It's been fun here, and I still have my guest, Buchi, on my seat. This is Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO, okay? And don't forget, you can advertise your goods and services, whatever you want the world to know about what you do, any information, what you want to spread. Talk to us and we'll do it, okay? I'm back to you now, sir. Culture Yard.
Yeah, man.
What brought about Culture Yard? What inspired you? Culture Yard is a lovely place. And I think everything is happening. Entertainment, good food, gym, fashion, whatever.
Kingdom culture.
Kingdom culture.
And so when we talk about Culture Yard, people think it's about the African culture, the artifacts, and we have a lot of those here. And African culture is beautiful. You can see what we have done with the raffia. Yes? Yeah. Where we could have used nylon thread. We've done it with raffia, we've done it with wood. When you look around you, you find bamboos, you find woodworks, you find raffia works, you find coconuts, you find the guava tree. Nature at its best. And so is the food. But it's beyond the African culture. It's about the kingdom culture, the culture of our kingdom. Culture Yard is a first of its kind Christian lounge and recreation center where you have a gym. Don't ask me why I've not been using it. I'm trying.
I mean, I never said that.
I'm trying. I have a gym. We have a restaurant, fantastic restaurant, which is partly why my gym activities are not showing much. Because I do the gym and then I go to the restaurant and the whole thing mash up.
Wow.
I have the gym, we have a tailoring place, we make good clothes and costumes.
Okay, same culture yard.
Oh, in culture yard. And then our grilled fish is fantastic.
Wow.
If you try our grilled fish with bread, Jesus style.
Wow.
Yeah? Jesus style. It's fantastic.
You heard it from him.
Fish and bread. Jesus loved that meal, and we have perpetuated it here in culture. Yeah? We play games, table tennis, snooker. We recreate and generally relax here. If you go upstairs there, you'll find some young people who are seated in that serene environment studying. They come every day because in that corner is a library, and we have provided them with internet, unlimited internet access to the internet, so that unlimited data access to the internet, so that they can sit down there and get some education from their devices. Okay, so the library is there, the gym is there, the music studios are there, the grill is there. That's culture yard. It's more than a lounge, it's more than a bar, it's more than a restaurant.
But do people come there to do their personal events too?
Oh yes, people come here, hire the place,
Marriage
and have their, oh that's right,
birthday celebration.
that's right. Just that we make them adhere to our mild and friendly rules. No cigarette smoking in culture yard, because it's a lounge where you can come with your children. You can bring your wife to a club. Who says the pastors can't club? And so pastors club in culture yard. Families club in culture yard. That's what we're doing.
Interesting. Wow.
And then the walls speak.
Wow.
The walls of culture yard speak to you. You find scriptures and poems and wise sayings coming out from the walls of culture yard. From here, I see a poem, body no get sense. Take some time to walk around and hear what culture yard is saying to you.
This is amazing. So if you're looking for where to relax with your family, place for your wedding reception, your birthday celebration, even your village meeting, end of the year, AGM, annual general meeting and all that, come to culture yard. It's amazing what you see. Honestly, I've been there and I can tell you it's something else. It's something else. Okay? So, but what's the procedure? If I want to have an event at culture yard, what's the process?
Talk to the management of culture yard.
Where's that?
Yeah?
What's the address of culture yard?
Please give it to them on the screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
the address is the one showing on the screen now. So please do well to call the numbers or visit direct. Okay. That reminds me, I wanted to ask. You go on events, you go on ministrations. What's the procedure to get you to come on an event?
Again, give us a call. But I'm guided by the Spirit of God in honoring events. He decides where I go and where I don't go. The invitations come all the time, all year round. But we ask him. And if he says there's a place or there's an assignment for us there, we go. If he says don't go, it doesn't mean the people are not good. It doesn't mean he doesn't love the people. It doesn't mean they're not doing his work. But when the Lord says don't go, we don't go.
Probably has a plan of sending some other person to.
Yes.
All right, you heard this from BUCHI boy himself. Now, your songs are too many that I don't even know they want to talk about now. Okay, let me dwell on Mama a little. Mama is evergreen. I remember, what a mighty God. It is well. The list is endless. It's endless. But let me talk about Mama. How did you get inspiration? Agamas, you know the sound of it. How did it come?
After making the first 2 albums, I thought to myself, I think that these works are serious. It is well, it is well, it is well in the name of Jesus, it is well. It's a serious song. of consolation in a sense,
Yeah.
and a song of fact in another sense. It is well, it's not about a consolation. And I thought that my songs were coming reggae style, pure reggae style, and dealing with serious issues. I thought to myself, there is a place for celebration, hearty celebration, an expression of gratitude. I'm not singing to teach you anything at this time. I'm singing to just let out my gratitude to God. That's the idea behind Mama. And so when I made the song, it was the first song I would make with a combination of English and Igbo. I thought to myself, okay, this may not fit into the BUCHI albums regularly. Let me just put out the song and give it to someone to market it. You don't even have to put my name. Just listen to the song. Do you like it? Push it, spread it everywhere. And you don't need to give me credit that I'm the singer of the song. But I think that we should have this kind of thing. And so I gave it out to somebody. The person listened to it and called me. He said, are you sure what you're doing? Why don't you want to put this in your album? I said, it's not like my other songs. I want to stay strictly roots
Reggae.
It's not like my other songs. They might change the identity of the BUCHI brand. So don't worry, just let it out. And the person said, no, I don't think so. I think that we should bring this in. This song has blessed me in the few hours that I have listened to it.
Wow.
That's how I got the song back into the third album titled What a Life. And boom!
It's everywhere. I remember putting that song on repeat from Ibadan to Lagos. That song is something else.
And I have received testimonies upon testimonies from people who have listened to it. I say this with every sense of modesty and caution, knowing that the power thereof is the Spirit of God, not the wise construction or beautiful singing of a man.
Wow. Okay, still in that line, what's new? What are your fans expecting from you? Any new release? Any new videos?
New releases will come as long as they keep coming, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As long as they keep coming,
Yeah.
they will come. But after I put out the album 11:59 p.m., which is my latest album, I get deep within me that might as well be the last album, because Jesus is coming soon. And now whatever comes, I throw out. Whatever comes, I'm not going to wait for the usual 3 years.
Okay.
To release another album.
Okay, it has been 3 years.
Oh, every 3 years, from
Wow.
1999, 2002, 2005, 08, 11, 14, 17, 20, 20, you know?
Yeah.
So 2023 is when I'm due for another album, but I'm not going to wait. The songs that come, like the one that you recently dropped, Yes Lord, it will go.
Wow.
Yes? So I'll let them out like that. So more songs still, yeah?
Okay. You heard it from him. More songs still coming. Okay, now let me know this. Your first album, let me take you back a little bit. Your first album, you know, the very first album, somehow became a huge success and sold millions of copies. And the young man who just did that at that point, and you encountered this huge success, how did that make you feel?
I was bigger in my mind than that level of success.
Wow.
Because one of my role models, one of my mentors had taught me before that time. Yeah, his name is Toju Ejoyuche, the MD of Premier Music,
Okay.
Premier Records at that time, former Polygram. You know, when I first put out the album and they were going to pay me royalty for the album, and you know, I thought that with that royalty I'd buy me a car and get me a very beautiful house with the royalty coming from the album. But you know what? He said to me, you're just starting out and you're a young man. Take your royalty in cassettes Because the song we released in cassettes.
Then,
that
yes.
time, he said, instead of taking money, take more cassettes. It's not time to enjoy.
Wow.
It is time to build. Build with us. As we are selling the works, as we are marketing your songs, you also market them. So instead of taking money, take cassettes. Wow. So I took cassettes and began to distribute them. And so I had grown in my mind. I was mature enough to know that this was not the time to get carried away by the instant success.
Yeah.
The first album. The very first song won the Amen Awards for Best Gospel in Nigeria. Yes, and at that time, you didn't have a proliferation of awards. We had just one or two, the Nigerian Music Awards and the Amen Awards. He won the Amen Awards for Best Gospel and got nominated for the Nigerian Music Awards as Best Gospel also. And so at that time, you know, I saw the instant success. It was surprising, yes, but again, forgive me if I sound immodest. God had told me that he would give me an audience through music, so that when I begin to publish, when I begin to write, because like I said, I'm first a writer, I would have an audience of people who would read me. God wants to say something to my generation through my writings, and it is now time to write.
Wow.
It is now time to write. If Jesus tarries, I'm going back to school. I'm headed back to school. Yes, to teach again in the university.
Wow.
I'm headed back to school.
You think you have all that time?
It's not about time, it's about passion.
Wow.
What you love, you make time for.
I'll soon let you go, but before I do that, I listen to you on radio every Sunday morning on House of Judah. How do you, and you didn't tell my listeners that you're also a radio presenter.
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't.
There are many things I didn't say.
He is also a radio presenter.
Yes.
How come about House of Judah?
And House of Judah has been running for over 6 years.
Over 6 years.
Every Sunday morning on 88.9 Brilla FM. And House of Judah is a place where we celebrate God in praise and worship my way.
Yeah,
And my
reggae way. It's reggae way.
You know?
Yeah.
In House of Judah, we play predominantly reggae songs, songs of worship, songs of praise, and songs of gospel music is not just about praise and worship.
Yeah.
Songs of inspiration, songs of instruction, songs of rebuke, songs of admonition. We play gospel music, reggae style, and then God speaks to us in House of Judah. House of Judah has also sent so many children to school.
Wow.
There are many children who have been on House of Judah scholarship.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Again, an expression of that desire to receive from the rich and help the poor, to bridge the gap, to let the poor know that you can be rich, and to let the rich know that God gave you this wealth, not for yourself, but for people like this. And so on House of Judah, I ask people who can afford to pay their children's fees and have some change to please give me the change.
Wow.
Because I know people who need that change.
Yeah, who cannot afford to pay for their kids.
What you call change is enough to pay their school fees. So he that gives, that lends, he that gives to the poor, lends to God.
Wow, this is Christ-like.
He that giveth to the poor, lendeth to God. And God pays well. When he pays well, pays with big interest. And so I've had people come in and then we pay the school fees of these ones who otherwise cannot pay their fees.
That reminds me, what you just said now reminds me of one of your songs. Chukunenye karionyobola, Chukunenye karionyobola, Anayenye kandoru beke neri bege nowa nowa, Anenye ho, Anenye ho. Wow. Listen to House of Judah on 88.9 Brilla FM every Sunday morning by 6 o'clock to 7. Don't miss it. You will come back to thank me. All right, sir, at this point, we want to have you do a shout out to anyone you want to. Everybody's listening. Everybody's watching right now.
Well, big respect still to each and every man out there listening to us on Solid Chat. Don't miss Solid Chat. Solid Chat is not about BUCHI alone. So when you see this edition anywhere, look for Solid Chat, because there's more where this is coming from.
Yes.
All right? God bless you.
All right, nice and lovely people. You will agree with me that it has been fun right here. We want to say thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for being a blessing to Solid Chat. I hope you will come again when we invite you, because we still have a lot to discuss with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Always a delight.
Yeah, thank you for watching today's episode of Solid Chat with Mr. ZICO, and I want to thank our guests once again for honoring our invitation. I want to thank you for being with us. Please keep those comments coming, and don't forget to hit the notification button so that you follow us anytime we make a post, okay? Subscribe also to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. To our camera crew, Blessed, King Ezekiah, Olushola Morris, David, and all. Thank you for what you're doing behind the camera. But I want to also say a big thank you to Dr. Dominion Charles Davis of Bradford Hospital. You've been a big blessing to the family of Fire Them Media, okay? God bless you for what you're doing. We can't thank you enough. All right, and to everyone out there, I remember Mr. ZICO. See you on the next episode. God bless you.